Whakawhalaia tu Sir Colin. Whakawhalaia tu whoki ia tautolos here whiawhine. I'll just bring up my slide here to make sure that it is working. Can you see my slides?
Yep.
Perfect.
Good.
E whamua liwa ki ni e tō whaue me nā mo ka heki kia ia, ki han whalawhano mo lewe ki an ke tautolos. Thank you very much for this opportunity this evening to come together really, to have this webinar. To my healthcare staff and colleagues here in Niue, friends, colleagues, guests, near and far. I know we're joining. We had lots of interest as far as Philippines and Canada. Warm Pacific greetings to you all. I'd also like to take the opportunity to acknowledge our partners in this adventure for us, Sir Colin Tukitonga and his team from University of Auckland. Thank you. And last but not least, I want to acknowledge Dr. Leroy for taking upon himself this challenge to wear the mantle of research lead for the Department of Health, and hopefully be the trailblazer for research here in Niue to help inspire others. I'm really just here to coordinate and facilitate and help. So all in all, this webinar is quite unique and exhilarating for us. Research is not a new concept, and our audience this evening varies from novices that are interested in learning more about research to experts in the field. But research here in Niue that is driven by Niueans, both local and abroad, is an exciting space to be in. So for the purpose of my presentation this evening, and to address the statement or the theme of our webinar this evening, which is research for Niue, by Niue, and why it matters, I will liken research to a bus. So this will become more apparent as I progress throughout the presentation and tie it all neatly at the end. So please bear with me. The modern day light bulb or the electric light did not come from the continuous improvement or use of candles. And so it is with research. New information, ideas, methodologies, technology, etc. would not have been available had it not been through the continuous learning which required commitment, resilience, and continuously moving towards the ideal self. So if the question is asked, what is the ideal self for Niue? You would most likely get a range of different perspectives from macro, meso, and micro levels. And given that a large diaspora of Niueans live overseas, local and international perspectives as well. And depending on what lens is used, this could be health, political, social, economical, or legislative in nature. And this is just to mention a few. But the context of research here in Niue is this. We are extremely fortunate that there is an interest to do research in Niue, about Niue, for Niue, not only by non-Niueans, but by our own Niueans as well. And although Niue is a small drop in the South Pacific Ocean, all 261 square kilometers of it have a wealth of information that is not only useful in our pursuit of excellence, but also useful for the pursuit of excellence across the Blue Pacific and beyond. So in the great big world of research, research that is about Niue, for Niue, and by Niue is a very small pool in comparison. There is a lot of untapped potential and monumental capacity for Niue to be more prominent and confident in our ability to drive research that is meaningful and purposeful for effective and evidence-based decision-making. And to truly understand the potential or scope of research here in Niue, not only in health, but across the island, I need to set the scene to provide the context in which it would sit in. Niue has a population of 1,689, and with a population this small, the workforce and human resources to do business and keep the wheels turning is much smaller. And then you add into the mix, our workforce is an aging one. So with a small and aging workforce, many wear multiple hats to ensure that the work that needs to be done is done. Imagine now, we come along and we add research as part and parcel of running concurrently to business as usual. We very much run the risk of being laughed out the door. And most likely that could be our reality. So unless it is built into the systems here, there is just no time, capacity, or expertise to do this. Hence, majority not all, of research is done and led by external parties in collaboration with local entities. Research by Niue, for Niue, more so here on the island of Niue, is very much uncharted territory. It's not to say research has never been done here on Niue, about Niue, by Niueans, far from it. This is about research becoming an integral part in our business as usual here on the island. This is very much about using our research to map our direction of travel towards our most ideal self in the pursuit of excellence. The famous quote by Lao Tzu, a brilliant Chinese philosopher, and we all know this one: you give a man to fish, feed him for a day, teach a man to fish, feed him for a lifetime. So it is with research. It is important that not only do we learn the skills, the knowledge, and the technical expertise to be able to do the research for ourselves by our own, but to also be inspired and confident to do it and be our own drivers. Encouraging and inspiring Niueans to do research is to first break down the wall that research is not this vague concept that is beyond our scope and best left to the experts, but rather, like we have done this evening, partnering with the experts, and in this case, University of Auckland, to equip us with the tools of the trade to do research. And it'll be very much like learning from our driving instructors, equipping us with the tools in which we can tell our own stories. There are outstanding Niuean academics who have conducted research and documented our histories and culture and our stories. The opportunities and tendrils of research that can be done here on Niue by Niue, even through supporting Niue, seeps across a multitude of areas. The capacity and investment in collaborative efforts cannot be emphasized enough. But in the broader research landscape, data sovereignty plays a crucial role in ensuring that data is managed in compliance with local laws, which can be essential for protecting sensitive and Indigenous information. This impacts how data is shared and utilized across borders. Indigenous data sovereignty asserts the rights of Indigenous people, us, to govern the collection, ownership, and application of our own data. The United Nations Declaration on the Rights of Indigenous Peoples reaffirms the right of Indigenous peoples around the world to access and control data about their people, territories, lifeways, and resources. Rooted in this, of course, is the inherent sovereign rights concerned with recognizing of Indigenous peoples' rights and interests in data and enhancing our own control of data to which they are related or linked to. So this concept and emerging discourse of Indigenous data sovereignty and the importance of Indigenous data governance to support Indigenous decision-making and control of data delves into reimagining how research is done, reimagining researchers and their approach, reimagining research governance, all with an Indigenous lens. And so it is with us here in Niue. There is a significant potential and need to, one, reshape the landscape and process of research here in Niue, for Niue, and two, establish the foundations of research governance that is grounded in Indigenous data sovereignty. There is a lot to learn and there's a lot to be said about Niue, and who better to tell our stories and chart our roadmaps other than ourselves using our own paradigms. So overall, it can be said that changing and reshaping the landscape of research in Niue is a form of disruptive innovation. It's embracing the concept of research as being part and parcel of the business as usual and understanding the opportunity that its disruption presents, which is the creation of a new value network. Disruptive innovations often answer problems we didn't know we had. So if research is the bus and our destination here on Niue is our most ideal self, and I'm talking not only about health, but across the island as well, in the pursuit of excellence, it's about being the drivers of our own bus. It's being comfortable and confident to be in the driver's seat. But we need believers, champions, and drivers of research, because we can't be drivers of our own bus if we continue to defend the usual way of doing business. In the pursuit of learning and growth, it is learning how to drive the bus. It's learning from our driving instructors, for example, University of Auckland here, the road code, if you will, of research. And last but not least, in the pursuit of Indigenous data sovereignty, it's about owning the bus. As we all would be aware of, there's a certain sense of freedom when it comes with owning your own vehicle. It's the freedom to choose your direction of travel. It's the freedom to come and go wherever you want and when you want to. So owning the bus here is really, really important.
Fantastic.